ma'am, for accepting our invitation. Now I will request Saurabh to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. Respected speaker, distinguished guest, and dear participants. A very warm welcome to all of you to today's webinar on GST Amnesty Scheme, Practical Aspects and Issues with Illustrations, organized by the Northeast GST Professional Association NEGPA. It is indeed a privilege to have such a team gathering of professionals, tax experts, and industry participants joining to discuss a topic of immense relevance. The GST Amnesty Scheme has been a significant initiative by the government offering taxpayers a much needed opportunity to rectify past non-compliances and reduce their tax liabilities. This scheme is particularly important for businesses and professionals who have been faced challenges in meeting compliances requirements due to various operational, financial, and technical constraints. Understanding the practical aspects and potential issues of this scheme is crucial to ensuring that businesses can make the most of this opportunity while avoiding pitfalls. This webinar aims to provide clarity, expert insights, and practical illustration to help all the stakeholders navigate the amnesty's provisions effectively. We are honored to have with us Sri Ashika Agarwal, a highly accomplished expert in indirect taxation and GST, to guide us through this discussion. With her deep understanding and extensive experience, she will help us to decode the key provisions, challenges, and best practice for leveraging the scheme effectively. I sincerely thank each one of you to taking the time to join us today. Your participation and engagement make this session truly impactful. I encourage you all to make the most of this opportunity by actively interacting, asking questions, and gaining valuable insights from our esteemed speaker. Without further ado, let us begin this insightful session. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you.
Thank you,
Now,
Saurabh. Thank you, Saurabh. Now I will request Ritesh ji to welcome our esteemed speaker and give her introduction.
Thank you, Mohanji. It's an absolute honor to introduce our distinguished speaker for today's webinar on GST Amnesty Scheme, Practical Aspects and Issues with Illustrations. Sri Ashika Agarwal is a highly accomplished chartered accountant with over a decade of expertise in indirect taxation, specializing in GST. She qualified as a chartered accountant in 2013 and further enriched her professional portfolio by completing her LLB in 2023, bringing a powerful combination of technical and legal proficiency to her practice. Currently serving as Senior Manager, GST at Messrs. Venu and Vinay, she plays a pivotal role in GST-related advisory, compliance, and representation services. Her experience spans across taxability, examination, compliance, verification, adjudication, appeals, and representation before tax authorities. She is actively involved in drafting responses on GST notices and providing strategic guidance on compliance and dispute resolution. Beyond our professional responsibilities, Sri Ashika Agarwal has been a contributor to various industry publications and discussions on GST, further cementing her thought leadership in this domain. Today, we are privileged to gain insights from her vast experience as she sheds light on the practical aspects and challenges of the GST Amnesty Scheme. So let us all welcome Sri Ashika Agarwal with a warm round of applause.
Thank you,
Please.
Ritesh ji. Ma'am, I think you can start your session now.
You have to give me sharing. I'm not able to.
Okay. Anshul, can you please help us?
Yeah, it is done.
I hope screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. Good evening, all. As it has been said in intro session, that it's a very important topic for today, as a taxpayer has been given a one-time opportunity to regularize their non-compliances or any irregularity which they have noticed. Now, as we all know, with the introduction of GST in July 2017, there have been lot of issues, not only on the technical manner where people were facing issue how to file the return, what to report, where to report, but issue were also on the case of taxability, ITC availment, blocking of credit, because though it's a migration, though it was borrowed from service tax, excise, and it has been put under GST, but they are both not similar. It's, I can't say that as it is provision has been borrowed under GST, though there is similarity, there are certain situations, certain provision which were already there has also been borrowed under GST, but they have been come up with the additional condition or the compliances which need to be done. Now with the introduction of GST, there has been a cases where people have missed out to do those compliances, and while doing audit or verification they have come to know about those issues. As we are standing today on Feb 25, now we can see for the financial year 2017-18, 2018-19, and 2019-20, proceeding has almost been done under 73. Notices has been issued, order has been passed. Either we are in appeal or we would not have gone anything. Or after an appeal, appeal order has been passed, but we could not file an appeal because tribunal is not formed. So with this background, we'll move forward to our today topic discussion. Now, the topic which is given is today is about the amnesty scheme, which is with regard to waiver of interest and penalty, and with regard to time limit for availment of ITC, the relaxation which has been given. Now, it's important when the government come up with this scheme, we should also know who is eligible for this scheme and how we can apply for this scheme, and which is will be our discussion for today. Plus, we will be also taking up certain practical issue or challenges you may be facing while filing that application. But before moving forward, I would like to first set little background base for the conditions, eligibility, and procedure to be followed, instead of directly jumping into the practical issue. So first we will be discussing about the relaxation of the time limit which has been provided. Now we know that new two subsection they have introduced for time limit, to relax the time limit to avail the ITC, that is 16.5 and 16.6. Now if we see 16.5, over there they have relaxed the time for all other ITC. Now you have to keep in mind the words I am using. Now, I have used the word all other ITC, which we report basically in 4A5 of GSTR 3B. From starting only, we are reporting there only. There has been no reporting changes for all other ITC. So all other ITC, which we report in 4A5, for that, they have relaxed the time limit for the first 4 years from the GST implementation. Now, what they have done? They have said they have provided me a extended time limit to avail the ITT. That is, I can avail the ITC till 30th November 2021. So for 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 2021, this 4 year, though there were separate time limit for each year, but by way of 16.5 introduction, that also retrospective from 1st July, they have extended that time till 30th November. But this extension and availment of this benefit comes with a condition. What is the condition? You can avail those ITC only and only when it is reported in 3B. Now 16.4 has been a point of litigation from the initial year only, that whether 16.4 relates to belated filing of return or it's related to stale invoices, because it's a reading of the section says that it relates to stale invoices, where the invoices relating to 1 year has been reported after 30th November of the following year. But it has been noticed even in the cases where the people have filed belated return after 30th November, though return belongs before to the November period, then also department has disallowed the ITC on ground of 16.4. Here, I will not go into legal dispute and all, but I am just giving you a little background and keep it limited to the benefit which has been allowed. Now, over here in 16.5, they have said that even though there is a non-compliance under 16.4, it doesn't matter because this subsection start with notwithstanding. So if I have declare my ITC in 3B and I have filed my GSTR 3B before 30th November 2021 for the any of this 4 year, I am eligible to claim ITC, irrespective of the fact it is a belated filing or a stale invoice. The only thing is it should be before 30th and plus it should be reported in 3B. As I said, I will not go into the dispute that 3B is a correct way to claim the ITC. If I avail in books, what will happen? For availing this benefit, two things you need to keep in mind is that it should be reported in 3B and it should be filed before 30th November. If both condition has been met, then you are eligible to claim the benefit under 16.5. With this understanding of 16.5, I will take you to the procedure which has been prescribed for rectification. Now, if you will be able to see on my screen, procedure for rectification, I have divided into two parts. Now, government has given me benefit. Now, the question which arises, if there is a case which involve of 16.4, how I can claim a benefit under 16.5? For that also, they have provided by way of notification 22/24, how you can claim. Now over here, to claim the benefit, it is divided into two parts. One part is which is pending at taxpayer end and one part is which is pending before officer. If you will read circular 237, multiple scenarios has been given, but that scenario can be broadly bifurcated into this two. Now first I will discuss which is pending at taxpayer. Now, when we say pending at taxpayer, I mean to say it is where taxpayer has not taken the action which he or she is required to do. Means, for example, suppose there was a show cause notice under 16.4. You submitted the reply, officer didn't agree, order has been passed. So adjudication order has been passed. Now, after passing of the order, it may be a case you may not have filed the appeal. It may be a case you haven't done anything, means neither you paid the taxes. In such situation, it is pending at your end. Means I was, as a taxpayer, I was required to file an appeal. I didn't did anything. Therefore, it is pending at my end. Or it can be a case, I receive adjudication order. I file an appeal. After filing an appeal, again it got rejected. Means officer said 16.4, based on 16.4, you are not eligible to claim ITC. So again, appeal order comes. As appeal tribunal has not been formed, obviously we won't be able to file the appeal. That it pending at appeal order only, at first appeal level only, means after filing of appeal, case was heard, commissioner has, JC has passed the order against you. So it is pending at appeal order level. So as it is pending at appeal order level, and there is nothing can be done as of now because tribunal is not formed. So again, it is a pending at taxpayer end. So only at two instances, it can be pending at taxpayer. One is adjudication order where nothing has been done. One is appeal order where nothing has been done. Means we need to file an appeal, we didn't did anything. Or it can be a case, means you might have paid the taxes also, but if you have paid the taxes against the adjudication order or appeal order and you decided not to do anything, you decided to pay the tax, interest and penalty. If you have done that, then obviously it is very clear you won't be eligible for any refund. But if you have paid only tax, not interest and penalty, you can still go for rectification. At least you will able to save your interest and penalty, though the tax amount paid will not be eligible for refund. Now, the case which is pending at taxpayer, for that they have prescribed a procedure for which you need to file a rectification. So how you can file the rectification? So if it is pending at your level, then you have to go to services, user services, my application. I hope my screen is visible. You are able to see my GST portal login.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Over here, you have to click on application for rectification of order, new application. Now, immediately you will see rectification of order draft has opened. This is the form which will get open. And over here, you have to select your order. Automatically data will get autofilled. Now ground for rectification. For this also they have provided what you need to write. You have to write application for rectification under in term of notification 22/2024. So you have to write that as a ground. You don't need to explain your case. You don't need to write much. You just need to write it is an application for rectification of order under notification bar 2022 in term of section 16.5 or 16.6 as the case may be applicable. And therefore, after clicking all this thing, you can preview, check everything is correctly filled and file the application. So it's just simple application with no further detail, because once you select your order and once you file the application, and you have given the reason that you are filing pursuant to 16.5, officer will immediately come to know that your case involves 16.4, and based on 16.5, you are seeking that relief. And based on your application made, he will verify the claim which you are making. If it is proper, then obviously he will issue a revised order, whereby he will drop the demand which pertains to 16.4. And if there is other cases apart from 16.4, for that he will obviously decide on merit based on the submission made by you and accordingly pass the order. But any demand which is in relation to 16.4, he has to drop if you comply. It is as per 16.5, means you have furnished the detail of ITC in 3B and it has been filed before 30th November. If both of this condition is met, he will definitely going to drop this demand. So this is the simple application you have to do, whether it's an adjudication order or appeal order, means where you haven't taken any action. Now, if it is an adjudication order, then rectification he will issue in form DRC 08. If it is an appeal order, then rectification will be issued in GST APL 04. These are basically the form which once you rectify, you will automatically able to see on GST portal. Now, another scenario which can be pending at taxpayer is you might have paid tax, interest, and penalty. If you have already paid, and as I said, you won't be eligible for any refund. So that amount will be gone, and there is no use of rectification if you have paid the whole amount. But if there is a case you have paid only tax, or you have paid part tax, or if you have paid only tax interest, means fully 16.4 demand has not been paid as made, then it's definitely your case. You should go for this rectification, even though means part payment of tax you have made, it doesn't matter. You will be still eligible for that rectification and demand will get over, means that demand will be removed from your demand totally they have calculated. Now, when it comes to pending before officer. Now, pending before officer, when we say is when the proceeding is going on. Now, proceeding can be going on at any stage. It may be at investigation level. It may be show cause notice level. It may be at order level. Any stage. So, if proceeding is going on, then it is specifically mentioned that officer itself required to take cognizance of it. Means if he has noticed any 16.4 compliance for the period, over here they have covered 4 years. So for that 4 year, if he notice any 16.4 non-compliance, he himself has to make sure that 16.5 or 16.6 benefit has been granted to you. So it's a officer responsibility if the process is going on, proceeding is going on. But being a diligent taxpayer, it is better if there is a case proceeding going on, then you are not required to file rectification. You have to keep in mind, rectification can be only and only filed against an order. It cannot be filed without an order. So if it is as a show cause notice level or a audit level, what you can do is you can file one additional submission or one written submission or a small prayer saying about the fact that I am eligible for the benefit of 16.5 or 16.6 as the case may be. So therefore 16.4 demand should not be made. Now, even it can be a case, it might be pending at appeal also. Means against an adjudication order, you went for an appeal. When you filed the appeal, this provision were not there because it has been retrospectively inserted. Now, this provision was not there. But even though you have filed an appeal, personal hearing will be scheduled. At the time of personal hearing, you can give this as an additional summation talking about the fact of 16.5 and 16.6 introduction. And thereby, then appeal officer is definitely going to consider that. And while passing the order, taking note of this section, he will drop the demand. But I'm talking only in respect of 16.4. If there are other cases, those cases will be determined based on the merits. So this is how the distinction need to be done. So you have to make sure only rectification need to be filed when it is pending at your end, not when the proceeding is going on with the officer. If proceeding is going on, just make sure you drop or you at least write one additional submission or written submission stating about this 16.5 or 16.6. Now I discussed the provision of 16.5. Now we'll go to 16.6. Now, this was another challenge. We have seen in the past how the officer were cancelling the registration, and registration were not just cancelled prospective, they were also cancelled retrospective. And the time and effort which were going in restoration was also hectic. It's not just the case while presenting the case at first level only it was getting sought. Some cases have moved to High Court also and to the appeal level also, based on which it ultimately or afterward our registration got restored. Now with restoration of registration, obviously the challenge came was the ITC availment. See, when it comes to outward, we all know, even though my registration got restored, I have to pay my past liability. But the question which arises is how I can avail the ITC if it is not reflecting in 2A or 2B. Again, I'm not going when the 2A was introduced, when 2B was introduced, whether 2B can be made as a base for the past year. Because from Gen 22, provision was inserted that ITC need to be availed on based on 2B. But I'm just saying the practical difficulty or challenges which were there. So in this also, they have provided a benefit where your registration get restored. They have said we will provide you the benefit of ITC, but ITC benefit will be available only when you file all your return within 30 days of revocation of order. So we have to make sure if any one of you have where has been a case where registration got cancelled and it has been restored, make sure you make the filing of your return within 30 days so that you can claim the ITC for the period during which your registration was cancelled. Now in this also, they have provided two scenario, 16.6. If you will see, first scenario is the case where my registration revocation happened before the time limit to claim ITC under 16.4 expired. So if you will see, my cancellation happened on December 22. My revocation happened on July 23. So my financial year for first one is 22-23. This is 23-24. So 22-23, my 16/4 time limit was 30th November. As my revocation happened before 30th November, they are saying 30th November will be my time limit to avail the ITC. So even though revocation happened on 20th July, now I said you within 30 days we need to file all the return. Even if within 30 days I file all my returns and I missed out to claim ITC, I can claim till 30th November 2023. Obviously, 22-23 time limit is till 30th November. If any missed out ITC is there, it is within the time limit of 16/4. So therefore, I would be eligible for that ITC. Irrespective of the fact, within that 30 days return which I have filed, I might have missed out. But then also, as it is within the time limit of 16/4, I am duly eligible. Now coming to second scenario. In second scenario, if you will see, my restoration happened after the time limit of 16/4. 30th November was the time limit, but restoration happened after 30th November. In this scenario, I need to file within 30 days, means by 20th April 2024. For the month of December till March, I have to make sure I file by 20th April 2024. Otherwise, I will lose my ITC. So this is how 16.6 is operating, and you have to make sure you have to check you are either falling under 16.4 or 16.6, because they have said later will follow. So over here, if you will see what is later is 30th November, because 30 days before, 30 days after revocation is earlier. Here 30 days after is later. So 30 days after later will follow over here. So this you need to be keep in mind if any of your client or assessee or taxpayer has this case. Now procedure is same. Procedure in 16.5 and 16.6 is same. It operate in the same manner. If it is pending before officer, obviously they have to decide and you have to plead. And if it is pending at your end, then you have to get your order rectified. Now with this, now we will be discussing with waiver of interest and penalty. So first, we know that the issue which is covered under 73 or the proceeding which is under 73, only for that interest and penalty is waived. See, the thing is that before I move into practical, I want to make sure that this part is clear so that when I start linking with the practical issue, you will be able to grab my point why I said that. So over here, my period which is covered is July 17 to March 20. Here they have given me waiver for 3 years. But when you see 16.5 or 16.6, my relaxation is for 4 years. Why I am saying is till 1920, adjudication under 73 is done. Order has already been issued, adjudication order. 2021 is going on and 20th Feb is the last day to pass the order for 2021. So coming to this part, so over here 3 years is cover of the GST implementation. It should be a proceeding under 73 and which stage I can apply. Now for which stage I can apply, let me first give you a little background about the litigation stage. I have broadly divided into 3 parts. One is pre-adjudication, adjudication and appeal stage. Now when we say pre-adjudication, we basically classify pre-issuance of show cause notice proceeding like investigation, audit or assessment. And when it comes to adjudication state, we discuss from the issuance of show cause notice till the issuance of adjudication order. So this is what we cover in adjudication stage. Now after adjudication state is come appeal. As we receive an adjudication order, if it is an adverse adjudication order, obviously we are going to file an appeal against that adjudication order. And after filing an appeal, appellate order will be passed. So you can say first appeal order also. So after filing of appeal, after happening of hearing, appeal order will be passed. Now, if adjudication order is passed in favor or appeal order is passed in favor, obviously department also has an option to go for appeal. one. And there is also a SMR, that is revision authority. Revisional authority is also there, who will review my order which has been passed, whether it has been passed by keeping in mind interest of revenue or not. So they will be checking. So over there, this stage is involved. Now, when we discuss 16.4, 16.4 covers all the three stages, means 16.5 and 16.6, whether it is pending at pre-adjudication stage, adjudication stage, or appeal stage. In all the three stages, if those years are covered, 17-18 to 2021, then you are eligible for benefit of ITC under 16.5 and 16.6. But when we come to this amnesty scheme under 128A, which talks about waiver of interest and penalty, it covered two stages, adjudication stage and appeal stage. It does not involve pre-adjudication. And that is very valid. Reason being, pre-adjudication stage are basically proposal. It is proposed that there can be a tax short paid, not paid, wrongly availed. But when it comes to adjudication stage, then from proposal, it start to confirming of demand, where they upheld the order or they reject your appeal. So here the main thing is demand start confirming. And here it is still in the stage where they are proposing it may be a case. So that's a reason the amnesty scheme operate from adjudication stage and for appeal stage. Now, with this, if you will see in adjudication stage, so my case for the period which is involved, it can be either be pending at show cause notice, it can be pending at adjudication order, it can be a case against an adjudication order. I have filed an appeal, but after filing an appeal, no hearing or no appeal order has been passed. So it is just appeal file. It can be a case, no appeal file. It can be a case, appeal file, case is disposed of, order has been passed against me, appellate order. It may be a case at the adjudication level only, case was decided in my favor, department went for appeal, or it can also be a case that that order has been selected for revision or by the revisional authority, and therefore it has been redetermined what will be my tax liability payable. So multiple cases can arise, multiple scenario can arise based on how the proceeding is going on. But we, in whatever the proceeding is, whatever level it is pending, I am duly eligible for amnesty scheme. Reason being 17-18, 18-19, 19-20, all these 3 years, period to pass the show cause notice and period to issue the order under 73 has already been over. So if you will see over here, my date for 17-18 was 31st December, April 24 for 18-19, August 24 for 19-20. So for 73 cases, to pass the order, adjudication order is already over. So actually we are either standing at adjudication order or we would have filed an appeal waiting for the disposal of case, or it may be also a case has been heard, appeal order has been passed. So basically we will be standing on those stage. Now, another scenario which can come is amnesty scheme, but talks about show cause notice also. But prima facie under 73, show cause notice stage will not arise in this 3 scenario. Reason being, dates under GST, everything is time bound, every procedure is prescribed, and everyone to follow those procedure. Because it is even said under 7510 that if no order is passed within the time limit prescribed, it will be deemed to be concluded. So obviously officer will not give that opportunity. So basically we will be standing at this adjudication order point or at appeal point. But there can be a scenario where it is still pending at show cause notice under 73. When? So it can be a case after receiving of any investigation notice or after receiving of show cause notice, you went directly to High Court. If you went to High Court and High Court has stayed the proceeding, obviously those time limits are not calculated while determining this order date. So there may be a case you might still be pending at SCN level. Then another situation is your 75-2, where your proceeding from 74 got converted into 73. An officer has been asked to redetermine the order under 73. Then there can be a case that officer you have same case or recurring case nature, or should I say the issue which is involved is industry wide. So like Safari retreat case. So it was on the construction ITC, and it was an industry wide issue, gaming industry also. So where the industry wise issues are there, obviously at that level, officer don't proceed with the case, they put it under call book. It may also happen in your case itself. Like suppose you got one notice which relate to one issue, which you went before appeal order, went to adjudication order, they confirmed the demand. But when you went to appeal, they given in your favor, and department has filed an appeal against it. Now same issue you also have for subsequent period also. So what they can do, as one order has come in your favor and department has went into an appeal, then they will put that subsequent period notices they will issue, but they will not pass the order until the department appeal is decided. So they will put all those pending subsequent period cases under call book, and time period which is prescribed under 73 will not operate until and unless department appeal is decided. So in that scenario also, it can be pending at show cause notice level. But those chances are there, but less are involved, because those comes only when there are industry-wide issue is of recurring nature, where they require to put it under call book. So this is basically to give you one scenario or base, what can be covered, who can be covered, what stages can be covered under this amnesty scheme. Now we came to know what is the period which is covered, who can apply and when can apply. Now, it's also important to understand the condition which is required to be fulfilled in order to be eligible for scheme. Now, we heard that there is only one condition. What is the condition? You have to make sure you make full payment of tax before applying for amnesty scheme, and you have to make this tax payment before 31st March. Basically, it is earlier of. If you are planning to apply application today, you have to make sure before filing an application, you have made full payment of tax. So full amount of tax need to be paid in order to be eligible for scheme. But over here, payment of tax is not as simple as it appears. Though tax need to be paid before 31st March 2025, but there can be a scenario where additional liability may arise. So, as I said, there can be a case when the order has come in my favor, department may go off for appeal. If department has gone for appeal, and after an appeal, some issue or any one of the issue which suppose partly dropped.
I'm sorry,
So-
ma'am, you can continue, ma'am.
So I was just saying, suppose there is a one issue of block credit around 8 lakh, out of which when you appear before the officer in adjudication order, they drop the demand to 2 lakhs. And then you plan, let's go for 2 lakhs for amnesty. Now you went for an application, you paid the full amount of tax of 2 lakh and you applied. Now you are coming to know department is going an appeal toward the demand drop of 6 lakhs. Obviously, department can go for appeal. So if department went for appeal, and at the time of appeal, it has been decided that out of 6 lakh, 3 lakh is confirmed. So if 3 lakh more has been confirmed, then you are required to pay that 3 lakh also in order to avail this scheme. Now, to pay this 3 lakh, obviously at the time of filing an application, you were not aware, or you might be aware that department has filed an appeal. But while filing the application, this 3 lakh would not have been paid. So for this 3 lakh, they have provided you additional time to pay if you want to opt for scheme. So when you receive the department appeal order, means appeal order which is after the department appeal, within 3 months, you have to make the payment of that additional liability. Otherwise, the amnesty scheme you opted, you won't be eligible for it. So it became 2 lakh plus 3 lakh, 5 lakh is the total tax payment need to be done. 2 lakh need to be paid before filing the application. 3 lakh need to be paid within 3 months of receipt of appeal, department appeal order. So in this manner, they have prescribed 3 payment dates where the additional liability may come. First is your 75-2, means where 74 case converted into 73. At that time, they are saying 6 months from the date of redetermine order. And plus, this 6 months of redetermine order is not just for payment of tax, it also for application. So I have been given extended time to file the application. Normally, I am required to do within 3 months. By 31st March 2025, I have to do by 30th June 2025 in order to be applicable for scheme. But where is a conversion case from 74 to 73, I have to do the application and payment within 6 months of redetermine order. Second scenario, where additional liability, that is the department appeal, which I just now discussed, 3 months. Then third scenario, there can be a case where the issue which is there in your notice or in your order, for that waiver is not there, one. Or it can be a case you have got consolidated notice or order involving multiple period, out of which some period is not covered under the scheme. In those scenario also, you are required to make the payment within 3 months from the approval order. Now over here, approval order means amnesty scheme sanction order. So if my sanction order I didn't get, I don't require to pay if my application get rejected. But if my application get approved, then the issue and period which is outside the scheme, I need to pay within 3 months. Otherwise, this scheme benefit will not be eligible. The tax which you have paid, it's okay. But this amnesty scheme will become void. So you won't be eligible for that benefit. So you have to keep in mind. So basically, it is suggested that even though we are going for amnesty, now coming to the practical part, even though we are going for amnesty, it is always advisable you should file an appeal also. See, 17, 18, 18, 19, we have already filed an appeal because this scheme has been announced from 1st November. We came to know only after 53rd GST Council announced it. So 17, 18 and 18, 19, we already filed an appeal. It was only 19, 20 which we received in August where we came to know about this scheme. So might be people might have put 19, 20 on hold, but it is advisable to do and go for appeal. Reason. Now the example which I discussed about the block credit and after department appeal, it got increased. Now I apply by seeing the quantum, let for 2 lakh, what to dispute, let pay and close it. Okay, I'm not going into merit. Amnesty is never on merit. It's a decision which taken based on the quantum and issue involved and the fight involved. What's the chances of winning? Okay, I applied. Now after that, due to department appeal, it got 3 lakh. Now the case which was accepted by adjudication officer, there is still some chance of that 3 lakh to get in my favor. Just because department filed the appeal and it got increased, now I have been forced to pay it in order to avail this scheme. But if I would have filed an appeal, then I would have applied for amnesty, because if I file for appeal, then I will do withdrawal of appeal. And after withdrawing my appeal, I have went for amnesty. Even though I went, now I don't agree with 3 lakh. I will not pay that within 3 months. my original appeal will get restored. Now, as the moment my original appeal get restored, I will also go for appeal with respect to department order also. Department appeal order also, I will file an appeal. Because now I am fighting the case, I am not looking forward for amnesty scheme. So it's a decision which need to be taken based on the chances of winning. And it's always advisable to file appeal also, then withdraw it and then go for amnesty, because it will give you one chance. If anything happened in future which doesn't go as per your plan, you will have one backup. Because this scheme specifically says that if my application get rejected or if I don't fulfill the condition, this application will be null and void and my original appeal will be restored. So this is the benefit which can be taken. So it's always advisable, go ahead with appeal filing and then withdraw it. There is no harm. Okay, as I said, if we are in the stage where we have filed an appeal, okay, then for applying this application, I have to make sure I withdraw my appeal application. If you will go to into GST portal, you can straightforward see there is a form comes for appeal withdrawal. There you can apply. There are specifically forms are there. If you have filed an appeal, you can go ahead and withdraw the appeal over there. Here I'm not getting, but you will find the appeal part. There you can go, there is a separate application comes, withdrawal of appeal. You can go click submit your application. It's a simple form. You can file there, withdrawal of appeal. After your withdrawal of appeal, go submit to department. Then they will issue you a withdrawal order. And once you have filed an application, it's not that immediately I will get the withdrawal order. So while filing an application under SPL 01, just upload your withdrawal application. And once you get the order, within 1 month, you are required to inform to them. So this is what the conditions which need to be followed in order to get the full benefit of this amnesty. That you should do the full tax payment. And if it is your case is at appeal level, make sure you do withdraw the appeal. Now we came to know we have to make full payment of tax. The another question which comes, can make the payment. Can I use my credit or do I have to need to make the payment through cash only? Now here it's a good thing. Government has considered even electronic credit ledger also I can use for payment. So you can pay your full tax amount which is liable to pay by using credit, and by using credit pay the taxes. But one thing which I was thinking, what would happen? I apply an amnesty. I use my credit balance to apply the amnesty. Afterward, some proceeding happened and it came to know the credit availed by me is ineligible or wrongfully availed or something happened with respect to credit. And it came to the knowledge that credit which I have claimed to use to the set off for payment subsequently held to be ineligible, suppose. But the thing is that it's nowhere discussed. And I think so once I have applied and I have paid the taxes by using credit, even though ineligible, subsequently held to be, even though ineligible, subsequently held to be, I will still eligible for the scheme, because there is nothing said what would happen if subsequent proceeding happened. They have not mentioned anything. I think that subsequent proceeding should go separately and it should not be mixed with amnesty scheme. But you need to be careful while applying. If there is some credit or some issue is there, make sure you do the payment through cash, because it should not be a case subsequently another clarification or another provision they come up with and where they decide not to give you the amnesty benefit due to all this issue. Because there are people who, as of now, nobody can avail the credit as it is now linked to 2B, because the moment you do above 2B, you immediately get the notice. So be careful, make sure while applying, but law allow you to do both cash and credit. That's very beneficial. But credit, they have said, I will not allow in two scenario where it is an RCM liability. It's obvious, RCM normally in 3B also they don't allow. Then erroneous refund, that is also correct. Reason being, you get in cash while you will adjust with credit. So for refund and RCM, if issue is involved in your case, then you have to make for that to the extent of cash. Balance issue, you can use credit balance while applying the amnesty. Now, second part, it comes, okay, I can use cash and credit. Now, how I should use set off? Now, if we are at the show cause notice level, then they are saying I have to do through DRC 03. And if I am at order level, then I have to do through payment toward tax. So if you will go over here, services, ledger, payment toward demand. Here your order will be there. Select it and you can do the payment. So if your case is pending at order or adjudication order or appeal order, then you have to use this services, ledger, payment toward demand, and through this you have to make the payment. The moment you make the payment and set it off, immediately it will auto calculate in your application for waiver of amnesty scheme. Everything is autofill in this form. So in this table 4 will auto calculate the payment which you have made toward the demand of order. So it will be auto calculated over here. You don't need to do anything. If you follow the procedure, everything system will take care. But this you need to do in order stage, and in SCN stage, it will be through DRC 03. Now, another point of contention which arises is what is only what I have made the payment after the scheme has been announced will come, or all whatever payment I have made with respect to show cause notice or order, all will come. It is said if you have made any payment, whether before the scheme has come or after the scheme, all payment will be considered while applying for scheme 1. Second, there has been cases where it has been noticed even recovery has been made either through bank account or through your debtors. Now it has also said that those recovery amount will also be considered while applying for the scheme. Means you will be allowed to set off. Now how that set off will be allowed, it is still not prescribed. And in portal also there is no system has been given how that set off for recovery made from bank or debtor will be happening. But what you can do as a precaution, because in case if it happened in your case, so what you can do, there is an option of any other document. So what you can do, make a small write-up, small summary, what the case involved, how the taxes has been paid. So there you can write, if it's in the SCN level, you can write it has been paid through DRC 03, balance has been recovered through this. Obviously, if they have made a recovery, either there will bank account deduction, plus bank will be also issuing you one letter saying that they have received a letter from department which talk about this deduction. If it is from sundry debtor, form 13, DRC 13 would have been issued. So all those attachment you can do. Plus, it is also advised, make a small write-up so that officer get the full information that why my tax demanded is suppose 10 lakh. I have paid through DRC 0 2 lakh because 8 lakh balance they have made the recovery. So if you will give all full description with the supporting annexure, you can upload. And you can also upload in serial number 3, which basically deals with proof of payment. So over here you can upload, but if your file size is more than 5 MB, you can use any other document. Why I am saying is because we have to make sure our application doesn't get rejected. And in order to make sure we don't miss out on this benefit, you have to make sure wherever you feel ambiguity or wherever you are feeling that I don't know whether officer will be able to read it or not, make one small write-up, upload it. Anyhow, they have given me option to upload all the supporting documents. So why I should not use it? So you should upload also, and you should go and submit to the officer also. So that if he feels that there is some lacuna, so law provide that he is to issue show cause notice. But we have also noticed in the past, even after submitting reply to show cause notice, order has been passed by saying that no reply has been filed. Simple. Or satisfactory reply has not been filed. And on this basis, they have confirmed the demand. What we can say for amnesty also. It can be a scenario, they do the same thing over here also. So we need to be careful. So it's better make a small write-up, write about it to ensure there is no ambiguity while filing the application. Now you may say that I have already paid the tax, I have already paid the interest, I have paid the penalty. No refund. If you have already paid, nothing can be done now. First. Second, it can be a case you may say that I paid for one issue, there are multiple issues. Can I adjust my interest and penalty paid under one issue with the other issue? Tax. Answer is no. So whatever has been paid can be considered only what has been paid under tax head and can be set off with the tax. No other head can be adjusted. One. Second, adjustment between other issue is also not allowed. Now, one more point, it can be a case while issuing order. In case of order, normally while filing GST APL 01, we get an option to do pre-deposit there only. And we can do, and it is automatically get set off with my liability created there. But there may be a case manual appeal file, or it can be a case you have made the payment before only at the notice level. Now you are going for appeal with the order. So the RC03 is there. So in the circular, they have prescribed that I have to file form DRC03A. By using 3A, I have to link my DRC03 with the order demand. The moment I will link with the order demand, as I said, in table 4, it will automatically auto-populate. So I have to execute 3A. 3A will be DRC3 wise. So based on DRC03, I will select and then I will link with the order. The moment I link with the order, it will get auto-populate over here. Now we learn the eligibility condition, how it to be done. Now what are the documents to be uploaded? Now it is specifically mentioned in the form that I have to upload self-certify order. So I have to upload one self-certify order. So order which you got, get it self-certified by the taxpayer and upload it. Second part, if it is a order against which I have filed an appeal, then I have to attach withdrawal of appeal application or withdrawal order. Third, I have to give my proof of payment of tax. Now this proof of payment of tax, if you will see, it is coming in red. So it's a mandatory fill. So what is happening is, even though data is getting auto-populated in table 4 of the tax paid, still you need to upload this document. So again, small word file you make it over there. You write about the fact that this payment has been made through this DRC03 or this payment has been made through your payment toward demand. You have to write because though it is saying it is only for 3A, but even in case where appeal has been filed, payment is made toward demand, then also it is mandatory. So you can write that about, and then you can also state that in table 4, all the payment I made is auto-populated, kindly refer to that. So this need to be done in a Word file with the supporting document. If it is DRC03, then you can attach DRC03. But if it is a payment toward demand, then also you have to write a small write-up giving the detailed breakup of how the payment is done, and you have to upload over here. Any other, it depend upon case to case, which obviously we will be discussing one by one. Now over here, one more thing. To attach the document over here is also not simple. Now the document, if you will see, please upload supporting document. If any application for waiver, document description, except alphanumeric with special character, hyphen and slash. So while uploading also, the document which you will write, make sure you give this. It should consider alphanumeric 1, 2, 3, 4, hyphen and slash should be used. And the file which you are going to upload also should be alphanumeric and underscore should come. Otherwise, you will keep trying. Save, preview, it will not happen because you have to read this. Document should be described and it should be named in this manner. Then only they are accepting. This is also one technical issue which we are facing while filing. So make sure you give the proper name, then only it will say, take it save. Otherwise, it will not going to take the save. Now we learn who is eligible. Now let us know who is excluded also, who can't apply or what can't be applied. One is erroneous refund. They have straightforward says this amnesty is not for refund. Then the period which is outside the scheme. Now, as I said, there has been a cases where consolidated notice or order has been issued. So there may be a case you might have received for 4 years, out of which only we know first 3 years is covered. So 1 year is not covered. So over there, you won't be eligible for amnesty. Then another thing which has been given, but it has been given in clarification. It is neither there in act, it is neither there in rule. The clarification which says is about the self-assessed liability. Now, self-assessed liability is your 7512, which says 1 versus 3B. So in case you have 1 versus 3B different, they have the power to do direct recovery. If you will know in past also, lot of issue arise for direct recovery and accordingly they inserted rule 88B, where they introduce new notice DRC01B. So wherever they notice 1 versus 3B, they will issue auto. This is computer generated notice. You have to submit your reply and accordingly it will be processed. So 1 versus 3B, they are saying if it is on self-assess and demand is only of interest and penalty, then you are not eligible for, means in that case, interest and penalty waiver for that self-assessed liability will not be there. But the thing is that when you will read section 128A and rule 164, over there is no such dividation. Over there is no such exception. Earnest refund and period outside the scheme, it's understandable, it is given there. But for self-assessed, that interest and penalty waiver will not be there. It's not there. It's only in the clarification which has been given, and circular is going beyond the provision. But the thing is that department circular are binding on department. So they are going to follow and they might not give you this benefit. So if your case involved belated filing of return interest or due to belated reporting interest, then you may be liable to pay the interest and this waiver will not be there to that extent, only to that issue. If other issues are there, then obviously you will be eligible. Because if there are other issues where you have made the tax payment and notice is only for interest and penalty, not of self-assess, other issues are there. Tax not paid due to other income is there, incentive is there. So on those issues, even though you have tax paid, notice is for interest and penalty, then also you will be eligible. Only for R1 versus 3B, means belated filing of return or belated reporting of invoices, there you need to be careful. If that issue is involved, you may not be eligible for this benefit. Now, let us quickly run through the forms which are there. So as I discussed, most probably we will be in the stage of order. So I will take you through the order part. So if you will notice, if it is at the order level, then it comes SPL 02. But if it is at the notice stage, it is SPL 01. Payment of tax I already discussed. For notice it is DRC 03 and order it is liability register. Now, after the application, here also there is an option that officer will give me one opportunity before rejecting my application. So he will issue me a notice. As he has issued a notice, I have been given an opportunity to reply. Time period they have specifically mentioned for everything here also. So within 3 months he has to issue notice. Within 1 month I have to file the reply. Based on that, he has to pass the order either to accept or reject. And over here over here to accept the order also there is a different form SPL 05. If we reject, then also there is a different form SPL 07. So it's a good thing there will be clarity. Based on form number only you will come to know whether it got accepted or rejected. Plus there is one more benefit, like when they say for 73, 74 cases where they said that if order is not filed, passed within the time limit, it will be considered as deemed concluded. Similarly, they have did in amnesty also. So they have given a time limit of 3 months or 4 months based on whether you submit the reply or notice is issued or not. If the officer don't pass within that time limit, it is assumed to be deemed approved. So it's not that I need to be regularly follow up with the officer to get my application approved. If they don't do it, they don't take any action, then also it's beneficial for me because it will deem to be approved. I just need to wait for 3 months or 4 months as the case may be. Now another advantage is even though they reject my order, I have the option to file an appeal. So I can file an appeal before appellate authority. It follow the same process, the process which we follow normally while filing our appeal before the demand order. The same period run, that is 3 months, 3 plus 1. I have to file an appeal. And then obviously appeal officer will decide whether I am eligible for it or not. Again, for appeal officer also, two form. If we accept SPL 06, if we reject, then GST appeal 04. In that, he has to reject my application. So if you will notice here, everything with time bound, prescribed form, prescribed procedure. The only thing is we have to just follow the system and justice will take care of it. Means I don't need to worry what will happen, how it will happen. Everything is determined. Everything is time bound. Every form is there. So that's the only thing that we make sure technically we don't do any mistake. This is appeal procedure. Means while filing an appeal, it can be a case you might be allowed. I already discussed, he will pass appeal 06. But if department reject my appeal, you went for amnesty scheme. I'm only and only discussing from amnesty's point of view. So, and this appeal is also with respect to rejection order of amnesty scheme. Because adjudicating officer said, I'm not eligible for scheme, I went for appeal. So if appeal officer also feel that I'm not eligible for amnesty, over here the advantage comes is my original appeal get restored. And that's the reason I am saying you we should always file appeal also parallelly, because in case something happened in adverse, what will happen? Because if I didn't file an appeal, my time limit to file an appeal might have got time barred. Because this whole process may take more than 3 months or 4 months. So if my time period to file an appeal get time barred, even my application got rejected, my demand got confirmed, recovery can be made. And as of now, they have not bring any provision where they have said the time which is taken in this application should be excluded to calculate the time limit for filing appeal. They have not defined, not said anything about the exclusion which is involved in this amnesty scheme. So it's better to file so that if anything adverse wrong happened, actually my original appeal will be there to save me. And to get my original appeal, I have to make sure I file SPL 08. It's basically a declaration that after first appeal, you are not going to file second appeal before the tribunal. If you say that, obviously they will restore. And if you don't do anything, means after rejection order, you didn't file any appeal, you didn't did anything, it will automatically restore your original appeal. Now, with all this understanding, now we will be one by one moving toward our practical issue. So first part, I am taking 16.4, 1 minute. So first part, I am taking 16.4. So this is under amnesty scheme. I am doing an application. Now, one more point is, if I have in a notice multiple issue, or in a order, I have a multiple issue, out of which one issue is 16.4. In that scenario, it has been said that I don't need to file any separate application for involvement of 16.4. If one of the issue involves 16.4 while applying the amnesty scheme, I don't need to separately apply for rectification or inform about 16.4 benefit. While filing my amnesty scheme, they themselves are going to take care of it and they are going to extend me 16.4 benefit, provided the condition which I discussed are fulfilled. If you will notice the form, the way it is designed, if you will see this form, the way it is designed, over here, you will get separate only. In my case, it is not involved, but over here, I will get separately only. And here, you can write your amount over here only. So here I will get a separate table, which is manually can be filled. So you can manually write if any 16.4 issue is involved. Over there you can write and it will be automatically taken care while filing your amnesty scheme. So they will, while considering your amnesty scheme, this amount of tax they will not consider. And they will consider only the balance amount, which is apart from this issue, while determining your tax payable. Now, which is what by way of this example I have taken. Now, suppose your issue is relates to financial year 18-19, which is well covered period, and it is issued under 73. I got 3 issue, out of which 1 issue is of 16.4. My total tax demand by including this 3 issue is this much amount, 2,38,000. But the tax which I am liable to pay while applying my scheme is only serial number 1 plus serial number 2, that is 103. I have to make the payment of this much only while applying the scheme. And based on this, my amnesty scheme will get approved and I would be not liable to pay interest and penalty. So this serial number 3 will be automatically excluded. I just need to manually fill the data over there. And this will automatically be reduced from my tax payable. And based on which other issue I am liable, I will pay it. Make sure before filing the application you do it. And you are good to go. Now, another issue is earnest refund. Now, suppose you have a scenario over here where the refund amount is involved. Again, same example, I have taken 2,35,000 it is. 2,38,000 is my total tax demand. Now over here, if you will see, I'm liable to pay full tax amount of 2,38,000. Here, while applying the application, I have to make sure I made the payment of 2,38,000. Unlike over here, 16,400 was involved, that's why my tax got reduced. But over here, there is no issue, which is exception out, because it's only 16,400 case, which is exception out. Apart from that, on other issue, I am liable to pay full tax. So I am liable to pay full tax of 2,38,000 before applying for amnesty. Okay. Now the question which comes, I am eligible only for serial number 1 and 2 for interest and penalty waiver. For serial number 3, I am liable to pay interest and penalty. But while filing an application, you don't need to pay the interest and penalty. You are liable to pay interest and penalty only when your scheme get approved. So the moment you receive SPL 05 saying that you are eligible for amnesty scheme, then they are saying within 3 months, you are liable to pay interest and penalty on the refund amount only, on the refund amount, that is 1,35,000. That only I have to pay within 3 months. Obviously, if you don't pay, then null and void, and whole amount will become payable with interest and penalty. So 238 plus interest plus penalty it will become. As of now, it was 135 plus interest plus penalty. Now coming to another scenario where multiple periods are involved. Now, if you will see over here, 17-18 amnesty available, 18-19 amnesty there, 19-20 amnesty there. As in this 3-period amnesty is there, I'm only liable to pay the taxes, and I have to pay the taxes before filing the application. But when it comes to 2021, it is a period outside the scheme. So amnesty not available. So I'm liable to pay tax, interest and penalty. All three I need to pay. But I have to make only tax payment before filing the application. I have to make the tax payment only before filing the application. Interest and penalty for 2021, again, similarly, I am liable to pay once my amnesty get approved. Once my amnesty get approved, I receive SPL 05 or 06, then I am liable to discharge this interest and penalty within 3 months. Now I am merging certain issues. This is again multiple period, but over here I am merging the issue with 16.4. Now, if you will see 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, there are total 3 issues involved, out of which one issue is my 16.4. My tax demand, total of 1, 2, 3 is different for different year, 378, 738, 1099. But the tax which I am liable to pay before filing an application is, you will see 243, 253, 234. Okay. So first one is serial number 1 plus 2. Second one is serial number 1 only. Third one, 2021. You note that 2021 is outside the amnesty scheme. But then also I am saying I am liable to pay 234, not 8,65,000. Reason being, 16.4 benefit is for 4 year, amnesty is for 3 year. So even though my 2021 involves 16.4, then also I will be eligible for 16.4 benefit and it will not be calculated. Though for 2021, I'm liable to pay interest and penalty, but I will be liable to pay only on the amount other than 16.4. So over here, only on serial number 1, I am liable to pay full tax. Only on serial number 1, I am liable to pay interest and penalty. Now, another point is where department appeal happened. Now I was issued a show cause notice involving the demand of 29 lakhs. Here I haven't mixed up 16.4 because it will become too much. So 29 lakh 34,000. After that, I submitted my reply. My demand got revised. It became 12 lakh. So I thought, let's go for amnesty. So I applied for amnesty before 31st March, paid 12 lakh tax. Afterward, I came to know department has filed an appeal and my demand got revised to 17 lakhs. So now this additional 5 lakh means 12 minus 17, 5 lakh. I am required to pay if I want to opt for this scheme. And I have to pay within 3 months. The order has been passed on 11 Feb. Within 3 months, I have to pay this additional 5 lakh. Otherwise, I won't be eligible for amnesty scheme. I'm assuming this is period which is covered under amnesty. Let us take this to be 1920, where I'm eligible for waiver of interest and penalty. The moment I pay 12 plus 5, 17 lakh, no interest or penalty I will be liable to pay. But I have to make sure I pay within 3 months. But in this scenario, if I would have filed an appeal, then based on my chances, I will again redetermine whether I will go for amnesty or should I go through my original appeal route. Now we will be discussing some other issue which you might be facing. One is manual appeal. Now there can be a case because we have noticed in past things were not getting uploaded on GST portal. Neither show cause notice, neither order, neither appeal was filed online, or everything was happening manually. Now everything is in system and online it is happening. Now suppose it is a case you want to opt for amnesty, which is you have filed manually. For manual cases also, you have to file the application online only. So you can go file your application online. If you will notice this part, the first thing which they ask is whether the demand order issued through GST portal. You can select no. Because if it is reflecting in GST portal, then yes. If it is not reflecting in GST portal, then no. Then whether any appeal application has been filed, based on your case, you have to see where are you standing on the date of application. Means what I mean to say, where are you standing on the date of application is, suppose adjudication order came, you have filed an appeal. After filing an appeal, it may be a case hearing happened, hearing not happened, but appeal order has not been passed. You have filed an appeal, hearing may or may not happen, but appeal order still not passed. As appeal order still not passed, it became appeal has been filed. Whether withdrawal, obviously you have to do the withdrawal application, but you have to remember if it is a manual appeal, you won't be able to file your withdrawal application online. You have to draft manual letter, submit it before your appellate authority and upload that. Whether appeal against withdrawn, obviously you are going to withdraw. Your case involves 73 that you have to select. So the moment you select no for manual order, it will automatically take care of it. Over there, they will ask you to write the order number manually. So there is no need to worry. So you can write your order number manually. You can write your date of issuance of order also manually with section 73. So you can select your section and accordingly you can go ahead with your manual application. Now another thing which you can say, what about the amount which I have paid? Because I have paid through DRC03. So while paying the amount over here, they will ask you to select your DRC03. So you can select over here. It will automatically start linking those. So you can select, see, it get added. So you can start adding your DRC03. Means the way they have designed form, many things are being taken care here. So you can select against this order, manual appeal, whichever the DRC03 is, the similar way, the way we do against SPL01. Same process, it falls for SPL02 for manual appeal also. So I can select my DRC03 and it will automatically take care of my tax set off of the total demand which is made. This is what I written. DRC0 will auto-populate in table 4. There is no need for DRC03 because if order is not there, how you will do DRC03 by linking to the order? Because order also need to be online, then only DRC03A will come into picture. Now, another query which you can raise to me is, what about if I have multiple DRC03 against one order, or there are one DRC0 which is adjusted against 3 order? Both possibilities there. So DRC03A, now I'm not talking about manual appeal, I'm talking about online. Now in online appeal, if for one order there are multiple DRC03, then DRC03 wise you have to execute DRC03A. So if you have 3 DRC03 against one order, you have to execute 3 DRC03A to link with that order. Because if you will notice, when you are doing application for DRC03A, even amount set off they are asking. Again, user service, my application. In my application only, DRC03A is also appearing. So here also, if I select any challan DRC03, after that, it will auto-populate over here, my details. After that also, see, demand order, I can select which demand order I want to set it off. They will select my order, demand outstanding. Adjustment of demand I can do. So if multiple DRC03 is there against one order, that also I can do. If suppose one DRC03 is there, which is of 10 lakh, which is adjusted against 3 order of 2 lakhs, that also possible. Over here, obviously 10 lakh with auto populate. While setting off, if this order belongs to only 2 lakh, they will adjust only 2 lakh. So both possibility is there. So both you can do in GST portal. Now, another thing which need to be noted is, I said against an amnesty scheme, if it got rejected, we have been given an option, we can file an appeal. Fine, we can file an appeal. But the question which arises, what if while passing SPL 05, while rejecting my application, or while considering my application, they have given wrong quantification, that wrong amount of interest or penalty payable. See, normally in a scenario where tax are involved, it's obvious. They will tax total what is showing, they will pay. Issue will arise on interest calculation if there is any point which is outside the scheme, means any issue or any period. So over there, dispute will arise on interest and penalty amount. So there we need to be careful. So over here, what I was trying to discuss is, when we file an appeal, appeal is only limited to eligibility. It does not discuss about quantification error. So you need to be careful while filing your application that you submit one additional Word document if your case is of such nature where there are multiple issues, some within scheme, some outside scheme. Give proper tabulation and upload it, so that when he pass my SPL 05, by sanctioning the scheme, if there is any interest and penalty payable, he write the amount which you want to pay. There should not be any calculation error. Otherwise, even though you opted, because of his interest calculation, now you might have to pay extra, because there is no provision for rectification of SPL 05. And even you can't file an appeal for quantification issue. It is only limited to eligibility. That is my reading. Appeal officer will only decide whether amnesty is applicable to you or not. Quantification and all he is not going to do. Because rule and section is very clear. Even the clarification is clear. It's only eligibility. So if you have any of such nature, which is outside the scheme, it's better you only give your quantification. So you make sure before you file SPL 05, it shows the figure which should actually come. That's the reason I'm saying you can upload any other document to make sure you give your full description, make sure you get this benefit of amnesty scheme as you want. Now, another thing is I talk about the consolidated notice, consolidated order. Now, what we have seen, one SCN or one order has been issued, but 3 years as order is for 3 years, 3 different DRC 07 has been issued or 3 different DRC 01 has been issued. Now, you might think, ki 17, 18, let me opt for amnesty. 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, I don't want to do. Okay, there is but single order, but DRC 07 is 3. Reason being, in GST portal, it is read DRC 07, it doesn't read order. And linking and all will be happening through DRC 07 reference number. But in my opinion, you can't do. If there is a single order, even though multiple DRC 07, it is a single order only, and you have to go for all the year which is covered in order, irrespective of the fact you have been issued DRC 07 year wise. Because if you will read any section 73, 74, all are based on order or notice. It is not based on summary of order or summary of notice. So if you are opting, you have to opt for full year irrespective of different year wise DRC 07. Then another issue which you can face is about pre-deposit amount not getting auto-populated in payment tab. Now, in one of the issue which we are facing is over here, what has happened is first appeal which we have filed. After filing the first appeal, we win the case, but we win part amount. So small amount of tax demand has been raised by appellate order. So the amount of appellate order which they have raised, when I am going to apply for scheme, in my table 4, the pre-deposit which I have made is not getting auto-populated. It is not showing me to set it off. But what I notice is when I go to payment toward demand, when I'm trying to do payment toward demand, it is showing net of pre-deposit only to pay. So in amnesty form, my demand is coming, suppose 37,000, out of which suppose 10K is a pre-deposit. So my demand is coming 37 in my amnesty form. That 10,000 pre-deposit payment is not getting auto-populated. But like I show you, for order, I have to do payment toward demand. But when I go to payment toward demand, over there it is showing 37 minus 10, 27 to be paid. It is not showing me 37. So I am required to pay over there 27 only. But the problem is in auto population also it is becoming 27, not 37. So we are basically writing one letter. Over there we are saying 10,000 pre-deposit already made, giving screenshot, and balance 27 may be made through this. Let's see how it will happen. But we have also raised the grievance, but no response has been received. But this is happening only in the case of appellate order, where appellate order has been passed. It is not happening in the case where appellate order is pending. If appellate order is pending and it's only an appeal file, then pre-deposit amount is properly getting auto-populated. There is no issue. Now, another problem which may come is if there is error in the DRC 07 or 1, the form which is getting linked. Now, as I said you, it is not based on order or show cause notice. Linking is happening on this summary notice, DRC 01 or DRC 07. It can be a case officer, while filling this data in DRC 07 or 1, may have given wrong figure, may have correctly not disclosed. Now, while filing an application, they will link with this incorrect detail only. So it's better first you get the rectification done. You get it upload with correct data. Now the thing is that time is also less. 31st March is before that you have to do. And sometimes some officer are adamnum. They don't change. You do whatever. So, but you file your rectification. What you can do, if officer agree, okay. If don't agree, then also apply for amnesty. And over there, submit one written letter stating about the facts that my order is showing only 1 lakh tax, but by officer mistake, it has done 2 lakh. Write all those points, apply for amnesty, simultaneously also apply for rectification. First apply rectification, make sure that is done. Then only apply for amnesty. Because otherwise, wrong calculation in DRC 01 and 7 will also create you problem while paying the taxes. Now, transitional credit are also eligible for amnesty scheme. They have clarified in the circular. But over here, you need to keep in mind that Supreme Court has given extension. You will be eligible for transitional credit only when you have claim in 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. This is only for 3 years. If there is claim after that period, you are not eligible. If your claim is falling under this 3 year, then you can go for amnesty scheme. Now, late fee redemption, those are not applicable. Even e-way bill penalty, that is also not applicable because it's only for 73 and 74. E-way bill is separately governed by section 129 and 130, which is not covered under amnesty. So only for 73 cases, you can go over here, and penalty which is demanded under 73 only you can go. I'm again not going into dispute. There is a separate dispute on late fee that it can't be recovered through notice, because if you will read 73, it says tax, interest and penalty, doesn't talk about late fee. But I'm not going, because amnesty is not about to challenge the validity of notice, to discuss the issue on merit. It's just a decision which is taken based on chance of winning and the number of litigation quantum involved. Self-assessed liability, I have already discussed. Now, another amnesty scheme, if you once you have applied, can you withdraw? As of now, I am not able to see any form or anywhere where I can withdraw. But obviously, if there is any failure from my side while applying the amnesty scheme, it will automatically get withdrawn. Then can I file application for part issue or part period? Answer is no. Full notice, full order with whatever demand it is, you have to apply for full issue. You can't say out of 5 issue, 2 is my very strong. So for 3, I will go. Not possible. If you will see, I have covered 3 period, 2 period I want to go, 1 I don't. Not possible. Based on order, I'm saying detailed order, based on show cause notice, it will be decided, and based on the quantum which is given in order and show cause notice, you have to go for full amount for the full period which is covered. With this, I have come to the end of my session. So if anybody have any question, we can pick that up.
Thank you, ma'am. Some of the members have put their queries over chat. You can you see the query, ma'am?
Yeah, sure. Okay, one person is saying, in case only interest and penalty is there in DRC 07, what to upload as proof of payment of tax? Sir, if that is the scenario, that's why I'm saying that is a mandatory field. What you can do is, if demand is only for interest and penalty and tax has already been paid, you might have paid through DRC 03. So in your written submission, one small reply you can do and attach, because in that proof of payment, there is nothing, PDF, Word, nothing. They are not reading anything. You can upload that PDF file over there and you can write that this payment has already been made. Demand is made for interest and penalty, which is for which I have applied for amnesty. So over there, you can give the detail of your tax payment, which you have made earlier, and you can upload with it. Before filing of appeal, tax, interest and penalty adjusted with credit ledger. In this case, can we claim the benefit? So interest and penalty cannot be adjusted with credit ledger, first thing. Only tax can be adjusted. Even though you have made full payment. Sir, if you have made full payment, then why you want to go for amnesty? You are saying tax. Arun Agarwal ji, sir, you can unmute and ask. If you have paid the tax, interest and penalty, all 3, then why you want to go for amnesty? You have vacated the full demand then.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Ma'am, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
मैम हमने अपील फाइल किया था, बट अपील फाइल करने में लेट हो गया था, तो अपील वाज रिजेक्टेड.
ओके.
क्या है? और ऐसे हमारा सबमिशन दिया हुआ था.
ओके सर,
तो क्या हो सकता है?
बेसिकली आप बोल रहे हो अपील रिजेक्ट हो गया ड्यू टू टाइम बट.
हाँ.
ओके, नो इशू सर, तब भी आप फाइल कर सकते हैं.
ओके। और जो उन्होंने जो एडजस्ट कर लिया टैक्स,
वो आपको कुछ नहीं मिलेगा, वो गया। जो वो एडजस्ट कर चुके हैं उसका कुछ नहीं होगा। बट आपका जो अपील रिजेक्ट हुआ है, आपने एनी हाउ 10% प्री डिपॉजिट किया या फुल पेमेंट कर दिया?
नहीं, 10%, 10%।
हाँ, तो आपने खाली 10% किया। तो सपोज आपका 1 लाख का डिमांड था, आपने तो 10% ही पे किया, 10K।
नहीं मैम,
ओके,
बट ऑफिसर ने अपील का पीरियड जो है वो खत्म होने से पहले ही टैक्स एडजस्ट कर दिया।
अच्छा, 100%
100%।
एडजस्ट।
हाँ हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
हाँ, तो 100% एडजस्ट कर दिया, वो आपका लाइबिलिटी रजिस्टर में दिख रहा है, तो
हाँ
ये आपको पता है। तो वो
हाँ
लाइबिलिटी रजिस्टर का स्क्रीनशॉट लेके एमनेस्टी स्कीम में अप्लाई कर दीजिए। बोलिए मेरा पेमेंट पूरा एडजस्ट हो चुका है, सो विल
हाँ।
रिक्वेस्ट यू द वेवर ऑफ इंटरेस्ट एंड पेनल्टी।
अच्छा, ठीक है, थैंक यू।
मैडम, मैं पूछ सकता हूँ क्वेरी?
यस सर।
मैम, जैसे आपने बताया ना, इंटरेस्ट और पेनल्टी का अगर डिमांड है तो हमें डीआरसी प्रूफ ऑफ पेमेंट पे एक रिप्लाई लिख के एक अटैच कर देना है, ठीक है? तो मैं बोला था, जो फॉर्म है उसमें जो डीआरसी 03 का जहाँ एआरएन मांगता है और 03A का एआरएन मांगता है, वो मैंडेटरी फील्ड है क्या?
जहाँ टेबल 4 का अगर आप बात कर रहे हो वो
हम्म।
मैंडेटरी नहीं है, पर डॉक्यूमेंट जो अपलोड करना है ना वो
हम्म।
मैंडेटरी फील्ड है।
मतलब हम बिना एआरएन के जा सकते हैं, राइट?
हाँ हाँ।
और मैम, एक एडिशन क्वेरी और था कि जैसे मेरे केस में मैंने अपील फाइल किया था, तो द अपील गॉट अपील ऑर्डर पास्ड कंफर्मिंग द डिमांड एज पास बाय द एडजुडिकेटिंग ऑफिसर, ठीक है? तो जब हम एसपीएल 02 फाइल कर रहे हैं उस केस में, क्योंकि 107 का ऑर्डर है तो और हम ट्रिब्यूनल पे जा नहीं रहे, तो वहां पे जब ये क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है वेदर एनी अपील हैज बीन फाइल्ड और नॉट, ठीक है, तो उसे हमें येस करना है या नो करना है?
टुडे डेट वो अपील ऑर्डर है बस। सो आज के डेट के हिसाब से आपने कोई अपील फाइल नहीं कर रखा है, तो अपील नो होगा।
तो सर, मैम, जब अपील हम नो करते हैं फिर हम जब आगे प्रोसीड करते हैं,
हम्म,
तो जो ड्रॉप डाउन में ऑर्डर नंबर आता है वो डीआरसी 07 का आता है, ना कि एपीएल 04 का, ठीक है?
ओके।
तो अगर किसी केस में मेरे डीआरसी 07 में 100 रुपये डिमांड था एंड एपीएल 04 में द डिमांड गॉट रिड्यूस्ड, पार्शली अलाउड होके 80 हो गया, तो जो जो ऑर्डर नंबर होगा, जो ऑर्डर ऑफ डिमांड है एपीएल 04 का, वहाँ ड्रॉप डाउन
हाँ, आना चाहिए, APL 04 ही आना चाहिए।
पर नहीं आता है मैम।
ऑनलाइन अपलोडेड है APL 04।
राइट मैम, है, अपलोडेड है।
तो एक बार टेक्निकल ग्रीवेंस रेज कीजिए, क्योंकि मेरे केस में APL 04 है, ड्रॉप डाउन बॉक्स में भी APL 04 ही आ रहा है, उसी का
अच्छा,
नंबर आ रहा है।
तो मैम अगर ये इन केस ऑफ पार्शली अलाउड ही होगा ना? अगर फुल्ली अलाउड
हाँ
होता है, अगर फुल्ली अलाउड होगा तो डीआरसी 07 का ही ऑर्डर नंबर आएगा, राइट?
हाँ, करेक्ट, हाँ। बट 07 अब कोई वैलिड नहीं रखता है अगर आपको फुल्ली अलाउ हो गया APL 04 में तो।
ओके ओके, थैंक यू।
मैम, मेरा एक क्वेरी था। थोड़ा लंबा है इसलिए मैं बोल देता हूँ। एक्चुअली, एम आई ऑडिबल?
या सर।
यस। मैम, मेरे केस में ऑफिसर ने ऑर्डर तो मैन्युअली बनाया पर डीआरसी 07 के साथ उसको अपलोड किया। अपलोड
ओ,
करते वक्त उसने सिर्फ टैक्स पेबल बनाया। डिटेल्ड ऑर्डर में लिखा हुआ है इंटरेस्ट पेनल्टी पे करने के लिए, पर वो डीआरसी 07 में उसने सिर्फ टैक्स लगा के ऑर्डर बना दिया। मैंने उसका पेमेंट कर दिया, पेमेंट अगेंस्ट डिमांड, सिर्फ टैक्स पे हुआ बिकॉज ऑर्डर में डीआरसी 07 में सिर्फ टैक्स ही था, इंटरेस्ट पेनल्टी था ही नहीं। और अब मैं एमनेस्टी में जाना चाहता हूँ तो ड्रॉप डाउन में ना तो वो ऑर्डर नंबर आता है डीआरसी 07 का, और ना पेमेंट डिटेल्स टेबल 4 में वो जो पेमेंट अगेंस्ट डिमांड मैंने कर रखी है वो भी नहीं दिखाती है। तो मैं कैसे करूँ? शायद वो इंटरेस्ट पेनल्टी आउटस्टैंडिंग है ही नहीं, इसलिए नहीं जा रहे थे मेरे को एमनेस्टी
हाँ,
में।
इसलिए, हाँ, करेक्ट। बट आप कर दीजिए, मैनुअल अपील सेलेक्ट कीजिए, मैनुअल एप्लीकेशन, ऑर्डर
मैम,
नंबर
पेमेंट
डालिए।
कैसे दिखाऊं?
वही
ऑर्डर
मैं
नंबर
बोल
तो
रही
डाल
हूँ।
दूंगा, टेबल 4
हाँ,
में पेमेंट वाला
मैनुअल।
डिटेल्स नहीं आ रहा ना।
हाँ, तो उसके लिए आप अलग से एक लेटर डालिए और प्रूव ऑफ पेमेंट में लगा दीजिए। आपने
अच्छा,
पेमेंट
साथ में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक
पेमेंट
क्रेडिट लेजर
हाँ
लगा देता हूँ या लाइबिलिटी
हाँ
रजिस्टर लगा देता हूँ।
हाँ हाँ, आपने पेमेंट टुवर्ड डिमांड किया था या DRC 03 है?
मैम, पेमेंट टूवर्ड्स डिमांड किया था।
ओके, तब आप प्रूव ऑफ पेमेंट में वहां पे लेटर लगा के स्क्रीनशॉट लगा के सपोर्टिंग देके सबमिट कर दीजिए।
ठीक,
मैम इस
थैंक यू।
केस
पर
में,
अप्लाई कर दीजिए, क्योंकि
या
DRC
मैम
07 पे मत रहिएगा।
मैम इस केस में रेक्टिफिकेशन फाइल नहीं करना चाहिए क्या? ऑर्डर का पहले रेक्टिफिकेशन भी एक फाइल कर देना चाहिए।
एक रेक्टिफिकेशन वो फाइल कर सकते हैं, बट ये सब सिचुएशन में क्या हो रहा है ना, वो रेक्टिफाई भी नहीं करना चाहते।
मैम, ऑर्डर तो उसने स्पीकिंग ऑर्डर जो दिया है, कंप्लीट ऑर्डर, उसमें तो इंटरेस्ट पेनल्टी लगाया ही है। DRC
करेक्ट सर,
07 में उसने अपलोड नहीं
गलती
किया
की।
इंटरेस्ट पेनल्टी।
तो सर आप एक बार रेक्टिफिकेशन फाइल कर लीजिए, बट अगर आपको लगता है 31 मार्च से पहले कुछ नहीं हो रहा है तो मैनुअल डाल दीजिए।
मैनुअल डाल दूं, चलिए ठीक है मैम, थैंक यू।
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
या श्योर सर।
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, we have filed an appeal and we got the order of appeal. Okay, and in that order, the demand tax demand amount was showing. Okay, but we have also paid the tax demand amount while by DRC 03. Okay, now we want to link that DRC 03 with the DRC 03A. When we are going to file the DRC 03A, na, the tax the when and we select the order number from the drop down list, it is showing the negative amount because they have adjusted it with the our pre-deposit 10% deposit which we have done. But in the order, nothing it was mentioned. It was mentioned only that tax amount that to be paid along with interest and penalty. What need to be what should we do in this case?
So sir, you are saying your pre-deposit is higher than what tax has been confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you have done that pre-deposit through DRC 03.
Yeah, and also paid the tax demand amount which was determined in GST Appeal 04.
So you have separately paid the tax demand and separately pre-deposit
Yes.
is also there.
Yeah.
Okay. So then negative part, it is actually not taking over there. Okay. But sir, why you made, I don't know, means if you were having pre-deposit, you were not required to do DRC 03. Anyhow, if you have done it, now it can't, pre-deposit is more only. So it is getting negative. You don't need to link with DRC 03. You can again do that payment toward demand means take the print screen and update it as a proof of payment.
Okay, and we should file the SPL 02.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
And sir, if you want, you
Ma'am,
can go for refund also, DRC 03.
Yeah, sure.
No linking is happening. Pre-deposit is higher.
Yeah.
Try, there's no harm.
Yeah.
Ma'am, may I ask one
Yes,
question?
sir. Yes.
Ma'am, I have many cases where only DRC 01 is issued, but not DRC 07. Like final order is not issued, and the time limit for Section 73 is already over. Then what should be done? Like why would we going for SPL 01?
Your all cases relate to 73 and nothing has happened, you are saying, sir?
Yes, ma'am, it
Exactly.
is particular
There are
to
many cases.
the state of Assam because here Chief Minister has given a statement that whatever orders are there, I mean whatever demand is there up to rupees 5 lakhs, nothing to be done. So there are many DRC 01 which are still in abeyance. No order has been passed, and we have filed reply, but we have not received any. Neither it has been dropped.
Even sir, even in many of my cases, I have not even filed the reply. And the demand amount is more than 5 lakhs also. But no order has been passed under DRC 07.
Yes, ma'am, it
Then
has.
why would we be going for the like SPL 01 and pay the tax? Because time limit is already over.
Correct, sir. Agree. 7510 specifically said deemed conclusion. You take the benefit of it. If anything comes, obviously you can fight strongly on time bar.
Ma'am, here one
Okay.
issue is there. I mean, can officer issue DRC 08 at this point of time when the time for issuing DRC 07 is already over?
Sir, DRC 08 cannot exit if DRC 07 is not there. Rectification can be done only when original order is there. Without original order, no rectification can be done.
Okay.
Okay. In such cases, we should not file SPL 01 basically.
No, sir, you should not. And
Yeah.
I will ask you one more thing. Just check. It should not be a case because it involved to recurring nature and all. They put it under call book. So even if they
No,
didn't,
ma'am, in our state of Assam, there are many cases. Like I have like 5 to 10 cases with me even. Like there are no order has been passed. The officer was busy or something. He forgot to pass the order. Then already time limit is passed out, ma'am.
okay,
There are
if
cases
that is the
also.
reason, then okay, sir. Don't do
Yeah.
anything, sir.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Thank you.
and a so-cause notice was issued, and we have made a payment of tax amount against that so-cause notice. And when we are going to file the SPL 01, we are not able to select that notice from drop-down list. Is it some technical issue or I'm making some mistake?
It can be a technical issue only.
Okay, okay. Then I should raise a ticket, no?
Sir, you raise the grievance. It's a simple thing. If portal is not supporting, go and submit manually.
Yeah, okay.
So that you can show you were a compliant SSE, you want to do that, and grievance, take the screenshot, keep it with you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, now can you please take up the queries which has been sent to you?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to share the screen or is it okay if I read?
Ma'am, sharing the screen will be much better.
I hope this is fine.
Yes, ma'am.
So can taxpayer opt for GST amnesty scheme for demand order received under 16? Considering demand order got rectified, can department file against such rectification order? Answer is no. Because if you are genuinely eligible for 16.5, then no. But there is something else. Means your case was not fully on 16.4, some block credit, ineligible credit, or another issue is involved, then obviously department can go ahead and file for appeal against that order. Taxpayer opted for amnesty, can department file an appeal? Answer is no. If you have received a sanction order, here I'm talking about the waiver order only, not against the adjudication order or appeal order. Against adjudication and appeal order, obviously they can go for appeal. But if you have received SPL 05, against that department can't go for appeal saying that you are not eligible for scheme. And it is also specified in para 3.4 of the circular.
So, ma'am, if the department goes to appeal for the appeal order or adjudication order and the demand amount gets increased, then we'll have to pay the differential amount.
Correct. Yes.
Specified period.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the reason I'm saying it's better to file an appeal than withdraw it, so that you will be having one backup. A rectification application was filed for demand order containing this and one more matter. Consequently, demand order was rectified for other matter and 16.4 was made alive once again. Can we file a rectification again for 16.4? Here, I didn't got little clarity. See, if you are saying you have filed a rectification application, while issuing the demand order, he has to consider 16.4 also.
No, ma'am, it was done before
Introduction of this. Then you can go ahead and file the rectification separately.
Okay.
Rectification can be filed only for order, not for SCN. What should be the course of action where SCN was given for 16.4 matter along with few more queries where demand was neither confirmed nor dropped within the stipulate, or there is no course of action required as on the pending SCN? See, I think so. This is the same question which you asked me that after DRC 01, no, nothing has happened.
Yes,
if nothing has happened, you don't need to do if it has already crossed the time limit to pass the order. But that's the reason I'm saying it should not be a case where department has taken a decision to put all the case on hold, not due to 5 lakh limit. If there is a specific circular or instruction from the government of Assam, then it's a different thing. You can take benefit of it.
Okay.
But if internally there is some instruction they have taken that they will put all this on the call book, that you have to check once.
Yes, ma'am, it is internal. I mean, there is no circular or instruction given by the government.
Okay, so just check. It should not be due to call book. If they are missed out, then it's okay. If not a call book case, doesn't matter. Still now also, you are well. But as it is 60,
Yeah, in case
How to confirm
Sir, you have to check because I don't know in Assam what has happened. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So I'm not aware because if it's a call book case, then even if they have not issued DRC 07, that time period of 7310 doesn't operate.
Okay, ma'am.
If tax has been paid to two different DRCs, then it's possible to file 3A. That I said, 3A is DRC 03 wise. So you select 3A, then one DRC 03, linked it with order. Then again, open new application 3A, then again this another DRC 03, and you can link it with the order.
Yes, ma'am.
This also negative part, I think so. I have addressed negative liability appearing.
Yes, ma'am.
An appeal has been filed having on which demand has been one for which explanation is available, likely to be dropped. Other issue is 16.4. Sir, you don't need to file rectification of order.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, because if it is before the appellate authority and they are discussing the issue, just go and make one submission for 16.4 separately by basing it on 16.5.
Okay, ma'am.
The appellate authority only need to file this. He has to
Okay.
address. I don't need to file any separate rectification or do anything.
Okay. Ma'am, apart from this, I would like to ask you one more query. Ma'am, for 2021, we are getting orders by 28th of this month. As you said that we can file amnesty for 2021 as well, but we need to pay the tax amount only by 31st March 25.
No, amnesty, I didn't said we can file for 2021. It is only till 1920. If it's a consolidated order or consolidated notice, for that I said.
So, ma'am, consolidated order only, like 16
Okay.
crore we need not pay, and then for the other matter, we need to pay only the tax amount till
Yes,
31st March. But regarding the interest and penalty, we need to pay after 3 months.
after 3 months.
Ma'am, in case, just hypothetical example, I'm saying, in case the government comes up with another amnesty scheme or extension of amnesty scheme for 2021 as well. So at that time, what will be, I mean, will it be a good idea? I mean, I was just wondering whether, because,
I know, but if you will read agenda and meeting now, why they have introduced in section and circular, I was reading, it was said it will be extended to 2021 also.
yes,
But I
ma'am.
can't put it on record, but in agenda and meeting, if you will read, they have said it.
Yes, ma'am. Because 16.4 is already notified for 2021. So that is why I was wondering whether they will come up with this for, I mean, for waiver also.
It's better than go ahead, file an appeal, keep the case alive so that in
Yes,
case
ma'am.
amnesty come, then you can take help of it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, another issue is that we have appeal orders in hand for financial year 17, 18, 18, 19, and tribunal is not yet formed. So what to do in such cases just to stop the recovery of taxes from the department?
Okay, so there is separate circular they have issued where they have said in such cases recovery proceeding will not be initiated. You just need to make additional 10% pre-deposit.
Ma'am, for 20%, I mean, for tribunal it is 20%, so we'll have to pay additional 10%, as 10% is already paid while filing the appeal.
Sorry, sir, 20%. 10 plus 20 it is.
So 10 is already paid while filing the appeal, so now we'll have
20% additional you have to pay.
20% additional, ma'am?
It is in addition to previous deposit it is.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
And if you want, there is a separate circular which specifically deals with this recovery only.
Okay, ma'am.
That is your circular number 224.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. So it was very enlightening session, ma'am, and especially your opinion that appeal should be filed, and if we withdraw it, then the appeal get restored. It was a very enlightening one, ma'am.
Sir, actually, we have to always be in a CNR. You know how the client is. We should be ready with backup.
Yes, ma'am.
And the way the officers are operating in GST also, it's not that they are fully following the system. So you need to be very much careful with them.
Ma'am, today's session was so good, ma'am. I think we'll have to run the recording once more for the members because there were so many things. Even I could not grasp everything. I'll have to watch the video once again to grasp everything, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, friends, with this, we are coming an end to the today's session. Respected speaker, distinguished guests, and esteemed participants, as we come to the conclusion of this insightful and enriching session, it is my privilege and honor to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on behalf of Northeast GST Professional Association, NEGPA. First and foremost, our deepest gratitude goes to our esteemed speaker, CA Ashika Agarwal. Your expert insights, practical illustrations, and in-depth analysis of the GST Amnesty scheme have truly enlightened us. Your ability to simplify complex tax provisions and address real-world challenges has been immensely valuable, and we are grateful for the time and effort you dedicated to this session. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us, ma'am. A big thank you to the organizing committee of NEGPA, whose relentless efforts made this webinar possible. From planning to execution, your dedications ensured a smooth and successful event. To our enthusiastic audience, we sincerely appreciate your active participation, engaging questions, and keen interest. Your presence and involvement make this session meaningful and productive. As we wrap up today's webinar, I encourage each one of you to stay connected with us for future sessions. Your support and participation inspire us to bring more such valuable discussions, and we look forward to your continued involvement in our upcoming webinars. Once again, thank you all and have a wonderful evening.